So good evening everyone. So in today's session we'll be talking about different funding funding options. We do these sessions every alternate Saturday, but even if you have missed any of these sessions, no problem, we keep doing this in cyclic order, so some of the sessions will get repeated sometimes, so don't worry about that. And if you are registered, since you have registered for this event, you can actually email back and ask for the recordings of the previous webinars, so you will get the previous webinars recordings as well. Okay, so before I proceed, there are some basic ground rules that I wanted to talk about. That you guys have seen the chat window and you are using this chat window. But when I am speaking, so in the middle of my session, so do not type questions in the chat window. I will not be able to look at the questions and answer them at that time. So hold on to your questions. Ask questions only when I ask you to, right? So if I tell you, do you have any questions? So that's when you should be asking your questions. Otherwise, just hold on to your questions. At the end of the session, anyway, we will spend some time, in Q&A, question and doubt. So you can keep writing your questions and you can ask at the end also. Okay, and I would also request you not to ask very specific questions, like questions specific to your profile only. Don't ask too many questions about that because other people might feel a little lost. So today I'll start with about what are the different funding options. So scholarship, assistantship, loans. So I'll then talk in detail about these, and then how to choose a business school based on your budget. So basically that's what I would talk about, right? So hi Naga. So I think you were in our advanced session also today, right? Okay, great. So what are the different funding options? Scholarships, right? So that's one type of funding. Next is assistantship. So there's a difference between scholarship and assistantship. Does anybody know what's the difference between a scholarship and an assistantship? Does anybody know the difference between a scholarship and an assistantship? So scholarships are given by the university. You don't have to do anything in return. So based on your application, based on the strength of your application, strength of your candidature, the university will give you scholarships. They don't want anything in return. You don't have to pay it back in any form. Okay. Assistantships, on the other hand, you have to do something in return. So if you get a, let's say, research assistantship or teaching assistantship, so you have to work for that. You have to work for a maximum of 20 hours per week. So in assistantship also the university gives you the money, but you have to do something in return. It's not free. So then there's the loans. In loans also there are two types of loans. One, you take a loan yourself, from banks and all. Next is the university gives you loans. So in most universities, they have empaneled banks, right? So the university acts as the guarantor, so you can get the loans. So unlike scholarship and assistantship, in loans you have to pay back the money. Just like any other loan, you have to pay back the money. There will be a certain rate of interest. So and then there are internships, right? So people don't think of internship as a funding option. When you do an MBA, so if finance is a concern, so I would recommend that you do an MBA which has an internship as an integral part. Okay, that means that a portion of the MBA is a full-time internship. Most US MBA programs, you have to do one semester, as a full-time internship. Now these internships are paid internships and they help you pay off, your costs at least for the next semester. So internships are also finance options or funding options in that sense. So these are the four types of financial assistance or funding options available to students when you plan to do an MBA, right? Do you have any questions? Anybody, any questions on the different the types of funding? Okay, I will anyway now talk in detail about each type. scholarships come in different types, right? So, and this scholarship will be can be given to you either at the time of the along with the admission offer, or once you reach the university, right? So it can be given to you after the first semester also, depending on your academic grades and all. It can be given to you after the first year also. It can be given to you along with the admission offer based on the strength of your application. So tuition waivers, can be of two types. One, you can get a flat, let's say 10% tuition waiver, or 80% tuition waiver, or 100% tuition waiver, right? So this is in the form of a percentage, right? The tuition waiver, it will be like in the form of a certain percentage of the tuition you don't have to pay, you get waived off. Next is that this happens in this happens in mostly in public universities, that you are an international student, so the tuition fees that you usually have to pay is called the out of state, right? Outstate fee. The fee that an international student pays is called the outstate fee. But one form of tuition waiver is that the university might tell you that you don't have to pay outstate fee, you pay in-state fee. In-state fee is also called the resident fee. That is what the domestic students have to pay. So this is also a certain another form of giving you a tuition waiver. So usually the if in-state fee is X, outstate fee is around 2.5x. In some cases it can be 1.5x also, but definitely there is a massive difference between in-state fee and outstate fee. So instead of giving you a certain percentage of fee as a waiver, they might tell you that okay, you don't pay outstate fee, don't pay the fees that an international student has to pay. Instead of that, you pay the in-state fee, that is the fee that a domestic student pays. Okay, any questions on tuition waivers? Okay, so if you have a question, then just type in your question if you have a question. If not, then hold on. So so tuition waivers are given in two ways, so you should know. Okay. Yes, all scholarships, not just tuition waiver, all scholarship depends on profile. So for tuition waiver, you don't have to apply separately for it. Your application is good enough. You don't have to apply separately for it. Okay. The next type of scholarship. So right now we are in the scholarship segment. Keep that in mind. Okay. So this is the as I told you. Remember that scholarship is what the university gives to you, and you don't have to give back anything in return. So we are in the scholarship segment, and we are discussing the different types of scholarship. So tuition waiver is one thing. So tuition waiver not necessarily abroad university, it can happen for ISB, it can happen for Indian universities as well. So whatever, see, that's the beauty of the MBA program. All universities in the world, they operate on the same things. The in-state outstate thing is obviously only for US, but the broader categories of tuition waivers, they are applicable to ISB, etc. The next type of scholarship is a diversity scholarships. As the name suggests, so if your profile is unique, it can be unique in any way. Some universities, they have special scholarships for women. Carnegie Mellon, for instance, they have got, if you are a female candidate, then you are eligible for some diversity scholarships. So then if you are from the the defense background, there are special scholarships. So diversity scholarships, as the name suggests, it depends on the on your profile, and there are categories. So when you're looking at universities, so you have to then just go through their scholarship page to find out what scholarships you are eligible for. And for in tuition waiver, I told you that you don't have to apply separately, but for diversity scholarships, most universities will make you write an essay to prove that your profile is diverse, that why should you be considered for the diversity scholarship. So along in the application form itself, in the online application form itself, there will be a place where they will ask you to write an essay about why you think your profile is diverse. So most diversity scholarships, what I have seen is that they in addition to the regular MBA application information, you would be required to write an essay. Next is the need-based scholarships. That means if let's say you are not able to fund your MBA, so that means you need the money, right? So that's called need-based scholarship. A lot of universities give that. So in that case also you have to write an essay, so that proving stating why you need this scholarship. So ISB sometimes have this, once in a while they have this need-based scholarships. Lisbon University, they have the need-based scholarship. So a handful of universities, they have need-based scholarships where you have to write an essay, proving that you need the money. So most students, when they write the essay for need-based scholarship, the themes are usually that they are the only earning member. So when they are going for the MBA, so they will not be earning, plus they will be taking loan or whatever, for the MBA. So those are the common themes around which need-based scholarships are written. One thing to keep in mind is that diversity scholarships and need-based scholarships, they are never 100%. So you are not going to get a diversity scholarship that will cover the entire cost of the MBA. You are not going to get a need-based scholarship which will cover the entire cost. So for example, ISB, sometimes they give 3 lakh scholarships, 5 lakh scholarships. So but it will not be that okay, you don't have the money, you need the money, so we'll give you 100%. So that does not happen. So these two types of scholarships will never cover the entire expense of your MBA program. On the other hand, tuition waivers can be up to 100% tuition waiver. So in that case, you pay only for your cost of living. Okay. So Sandeep, we are talking about MBA today, right? Not general, not like general funding options. These are like funding options for the MBA program. So the top MBA programs of Germany, like Mannheim University, and also they are not for free. They are not zero tuition fee. Utkarsh, yes, you can apply for multiple scholarships, but as I said, there are not many scholarships for which you have to apply separately. Only diversity and need-based are the ones where you have to write an essay, and again that also not apply separately. Within the online application form itself, there will be sections. So Naga, your question is tuition waiver depends on which criteria for ISB. Whether it's ISB or anything, tuition waiver is a completely merit-based thing. So tuition waivers are given to 5 to 10% of the admitted students. So if you are in the top 5-10% of the admitted students, then you will get this scholarship. Then you will get the tuition waivers, right? And so to be in the 5 to 10% of the admitted group in any business school, you will need the regular stuff. Good GMAT score, good academics, good essays. The entire admissions criteria applies. Rakesh, no, not that I'm aware of. Alphas, the admissions criteria and scholarship criteria remain almost the same. Except for tuition waiver, they remain almost the same. So if you are in the top 5-10% of the admitted group of students in any business school, so then you get considered for tuition waiver. Ashish, in the past, I had a student who had got 100% tuition waiver for doing MBA in University of British Columbia in Canada. So yes, it's possible. That's what I mean, that 0 to 100% is possible. Gopal, you will never know that you have a chance of tuition waiver, because that depends on the applicant pool. Tuition waivers are given to top 5 to 10% of the admitted group of students. So while applying to a certain university, you will never know whether you will be eligible or not, because you don't know what the applicant pool is going to be for that year. Akshita, yes, the scholarship amount may end up depending on what you wrote, the content of your scholarship essay, if the university needs the scholarship essay. Shahrukh, not for German universities. No, zero tuition fees. I mean, it's no longer true. Once upon a time, that used to be a fact, but not for MBA. It was never true for MBA. Okay, now assistantship. If you remember, as I said, the difference between scholarships and assistantship is that assistantship you have to do something in return. Okay, so the one type of assistantship is called TA. That it means T stands for teaching assistantship. In this case, you will have to help a professor with his teaching assignments, maybe grade the papers, maybe take attendance, whatever. You will have to help a faculty in his teaching assignments. The next type of assistantship is called RA or research assistantship. In this case, you help a professor with his research. So so to be able to, I have seen, the assistantships that international students get, they usually RA. There are very few international students, unless you are from academic background, unless you are a college lecturer or professor or something. Very few international students get the TA, right? So international students, if they get the assistantship, it's usually research assistantship, in which case you will be helping a professor for 20 hours per week in his research. Okay, so these are the two types of assistantships that are available for MBA students, and it is valid for almost all universities. Okay, I told at the very beginning, please don't type in your questions while I'm speaking, so I'll miss. So I'm seeing a couple of questions, so I'll take those. So Rahul's your question is, what was the profile of the student who got 100% scholarship? See, I don't remember his exact profile because it was quite some time ago. Okay. Ragul has a question, what percentage can we expect for need-based scholarship? So need-based scholarship, they usually give you a fixed amount, which can be around 10-20. It will probably cover around 10-20% of the expense of the MBA, and not all universities have the need-based scholarship. It's pretty uncommon. Alfaz, your question is, what if I get scholarship and I don't perform well? A lot of these scholarships are, you will get it for semester wise, so you have to maintain a certain GPA level, maybe 3.5 or 4. So if you don't meet that academic criteria, then the scholarship will be taken away from you and given to somebody else. That's why even if you do not get a scholarship at the time of application, if you do well in the first semester, you end up getting scholarship. So that's another way to go about it. So if you join a university, if you do well, you perform well in the academics, you get high scores, you can get a scholarship even from your second semester as well. Prashant, there's no minimum criteria required for scholarship, so I cannot mention the minimum criteria. These are available scholarships. There are no cutoffs that you have to get this much score to get this. There are no cutoffs like that. Okay, so it totally depends on that year's applicant pool. Sid, to be honest, getting an admission offer from London Business School itself is so very tough. That tuition waiver will be. I would not. I would advise you not to expect any tuition waiver in London Business School to begin with. Once you go there, you can try. If you perform well, you can try. But very few Indian students get scholarship or tuition waiver in London Business School. Rakesh, your question is, all these scholarship applicable for executive MBA also? Okay, so if you're talking about the 1-year MBA programs, IMA, IMP, so they also give scholarships. Not all these maybe. See, the Indian IMs, they also give scholarship. They don't have they give tuition waivers, they give need-based scholarships. They don't have the research assistantship and teaching assistantship because they are already 1-year MBA. You would not have time to do all of that. Bhanu, your question is it true that top 30 universities grant very less amount of scholarship? No, it's not true. It's just that it's extremely difficult to get purely because of competition. So it's not that they give less amount of scholarship. It's just that your profile has to be are very, very, very good to qualify to get those scholarships. Okay, Snigdha, your question is, without work experience, can we get admission in abroad? Okay, very vague question. I don't know what program you're looking for, and I don't know what you mean by abroad, so it's an extremely vague question. Anyway, today's session is more about funding options, not about admissions criteria. So Snigdha, if you are a Jamboree student, I would recommend that you talk to a counselor in the center in which you go for your classes. Umesh, your question is, how much seed money we needed in... Again, I did not understand the question. So if you are asking how much, what's the budget that you should plan for, very difficult to say that, because it totally depends which country you are targeting. If you are targeting an Asian business school, then maybe an amount of like 30-40 lakhs should be fine. But if you are planning for an US business school, then it becomes higher. So totally depends on what type of business schools, which country you are looking for. You will find the tuition information on the university websites. First decide which universities that you want to go to. Go check out their website and see what's the requirement. So Rahul, your question is, are we allowed to work 20 hours even when we get the TA role? Is there university? So I did not understand the question. People, please type in your questions your questions should be understandable. I am not able to understand your question, Rahul. Saurav, your question is, do UK Europe colleges have RA, or is it a US concept? It's mostly a US concept. So the UK and Europe colleges, their MBAs are for 1 year, so you don't have the time anyway, right? So you don't, you can, it's so very hectic. It's an extremely hectic schedule. You'll be working, you'll be attending classes, doing assignments for 8 to 10, 12 hours a day. So you don't have the time for that anyway. Ashish, can sports act as one of the factors to strengthen our profile? Yeah, obviously, of course. These are admissions criteria. We did a segment on admissions criteria previously, and we'll continue with that after this session. Next one we'll continue with admissions criteria. So what you were asking me is not necessarily for funding. It's basically an admissions admissions criteria kind of question, right? So anything that you have will definitely strengthen your profile for admission, not necessarily for scholarship. Okay, so Rahul, you can in the US you can work for maximum 20 hours per week. So you cannot do a TA or RA for 20 hours per week and also do some other job for 20 hours per week. So the total is 20 hours per week. Okay, now coming to loans. So Umesh is asking about loans. So let's start with loans. The loans, it's simple. There's certain either the university or the some financial institute will give you some loans, and there will be certain rate of interest on it, and you have to pay back. Simple concept, right? There is no eligibility criteria here. It doesn't matter what your GMAT score is. Doesn't matter. There is no eligibility criteria here, because it's a loan and you will have to pay it back. So the loan is kind of simpler to understand. Now there are again two types of loans. One, the university loans. That means the university, just because you get admission in a university, you can access the empaneled banks in the university, and they will give the loans. A lot of the universities, you don't even need a co-signer or any kind of guarantee. So in India, for instance, if you apply for an education loan in State Bank of India, you probably know nowadays State Bank of India gives up to 1.5 crores, right? You know that. But to get this 1.5 crore student loan, with State Bank of India, you will have to show some collateral. You have to have some collateral. You have to show property or whatever it is. You will have to show some collateral. But in university loans, a lot of universities, they don't need anything. They don't need you to show collateral. They don't need a guarantor or co-signer. The university acts as your guarantor. So all you have to do is get admission, right? So this is most such loans are given by US universities. Even ISB does this. In India, ISB, the IIMs, the Indian business schools, and some of the US business schools, they do this. They give the loan, and they don't need any collateral. You don't need a co-signer. So then the other type of university loan is where you need a co-signer, right? Again, no collateral required, but you will need a co-signer of the origin who is from from that country. So if you are applying to a university, US university, and you need a loan to be given by the university, then you will need somebody with a green card or a permanent residency, somebody from the US. You can be a relative, anybody who has a green card or has a PR, to act as your co-signer, who will kind of share the responsibility. That's about it. Okay. Now the advantage of these university loans is that the rate of interest is very low. It's around 8 to 9%. It's extremely low. In India, if you take it from any banks, the rate of interest is around 14 to 15%, right? Plus you have to show collateral. But if you apply to universities which give the loans, then the rate of interest of those loans is 8 to 9%. Okay. Then of course the Indian banks, you have to, I already told you, India, there are different types of banks, SBI, State Bank of India, gives up to 1.5 crores. SBI is usually the most reliable one, but there are also like HDFC Credila gives a lot of loans, very easy process, so I mean in India most students, they either take the SBI loan or the HDFC Credila loan, right? It's just like any loan, you have to show collateral. The rate of interest varies from 14 to 15%. So guys, please don't keep on typing your questions. I will not be able to address them at this point, so please don't type in your questions. Okay, type in your questions only when I ask you to. Then the next type of loans is given by US banks through intermediaries, right? Like Prodigy is one of those. The loan is given by the US banks, are given by the US banks, but these are called intermediaries, right? So Prodigy Finance, it's one group. Then there's Empower Finance, right? So these are, but they have this, the rate of interest are again 9 to 10%, very low. But the only thing is that you have to get into a good university to qualify for those, right? For every other university they don't have, so they will have a set of universities. So if you have like get into these 100 universities or get into these 200 universities, only then they will give you the loan. So these are intermediaries. So the loan is given by the given by other banks, but they act as the intermediary. So again, the rates of interest are low. There is no the collateral and all, that's not an issue. So the quality of the university combined with the banks that they have got relationships with, so they are able to do that. So this is a comparatively new phenomenon that is happening in in India, and for that you don't need any co-signers or anything. Then there's some other type of institute where again the loans are given by the US banks through intermediaries. So so one such intermediary is the Paras Education Loan Foundation. In this case, they need a US co-signer, right? So these are not. See, if you want a lot of money with low rate of interest, then this is a very good option, right? But only catch is that you will have to get admission in a good university. All of these institutes, all of these institutions, they have the list of universities for which they give the scholarships. They don't, loans. So you have to get admission in one of those universities, only then you become eligible for the loan. But if you just have got admission in a university, that university is not in this in their list, and you don't care much about the rate of interest, and so then you go with the Indian banks. Okay. So so Kishore, your question is these loans cover both tuition and cost of living, not just even the Indian banks. All these loans, they cover both. They cover cost of living as well as the tuition fee. Sid, I think I already discussed the options for collateral free. I already discussed that. Sandeep, German universities don't provide these loans. So if you're applying to German universities, as I think I already told you this, the university loans, are more is a US Canadian kind of phenomenon. Not other countries, the universities don't give this kind of loans. So Rahul, what would be an ideal profile of a student who can succeed at getting a scholarship in Australia? Rahul, is too tough to answer that question, and because the admissions criteria, there's so many criteria. You can have a low GMAT score, but you can have a great work experience and great academic background, or you can have a poor academic score, but you can have a high GMAT score and good extracurricular activities. So there's nothing called an ideal profile, because your profile involves a lot of parameters. Okay. Kishore, it is with cosigner. Dave, your question is university loans without cosigner is also 4 to 5%. No, it's not 4 to 5%. I didn't say 4 to 5%. I said 8 to 9%. It used to be 4 to 5% once upon a time, but now it's like around 8 to 9%. So whether it is with cosigner or without cosigner, the rate of interest is same. So if a university is giving a loan, with cosigner as well as without cosigner, then the rate of interest remains the same. So yes, all Kishore and everybody else, all the loans here, university loans, Indian banks, US banks, through intermediaries, all of them, they cover both cost of living as well as cost of tuition. Akshita, are we required to sign bonds? I don't understand this question. These are loans, right? So you are paying back the money. So there is no concept of bonds. Why would you sign a bond? You are anyway returning the money. Okay. Europe scholarship and funding system. So funding system remains the same. Only just these university loans are pretty very low. So you can always take the loans from Indian banks and US banks. The tuition waivers are available. The RAs and TAs are not available. Right, so it's almost the same. There are diversity scholarships, there are need-based scholarships, but in comparison to US and Canada, they are very, very less. That's it. Yes, Rakesh, you can get the loan for the executive MBA also. Loans are easy to get, because loans for that your profile is not important at all. You just need to get the admission. Dave, I did not understand your. I understand cosigner. What effect does it have on the loans that I get? I did not understand your question. Of course, the credit rating of your cosigner will be taken into consideration. If your cosigner's credit ranking is very bad, then obviously that's not good. I guess that was your question. Shraddha, whether it's the US banks or the Indian banks, most cases you have to start paying the interest from the, as soon as the money is disbursed, you have to start paying the interest per month. The principal you start, there is something called the moratorium period, that is either 6 months after you finish your degree, or within 1 year of getting a job. Different banks and different institutes have different rules. So you have to pay the principal amount there, but the interest amount has to be paid right from the first month of disbursement of the amount. Akshita, you don't have to pay immediately after graduation. There is something called the moratorium period. So every bank they have their own moratorium period. So it's either 6 months after graduation, or within 1 year of getting a job, which so it depends varies from financial institute to financial institute. Executive MBA, US banks also give. Executive MBA, I'm assuming for 1 year MBA. For part-time MBAs, no, but for 1 year MBAs, yes, banks also give. Yes, Utkarsh, you can apply scholarship for scholarships as well as loans. So Arpit, if somebody gets into INSEAD, you can apply for loans, right? INSEAD does not give university loans without co-signer. So, but you can go to other types of loans. You can also apply for not necessarily scholarships. You know, as, for exceptional candidates, they give tuition waivers. So weekend MBA, you know, what will be the best option for loan for weekend MBA? So that is I'll have to look that up, you know, because we don't get usually students who want to do weekend MBA. Most of our students are full-time MBA program. So what Nimish, just send an email at information@jamboreeindia.com. So we'll get back to you on that. So weekend MBA in US, you know, I think Empower Finance, you can check with Empower Finance, you know. So I think they consider, just drop an email and check with these guys. Okay, any more questions till now? Okay, the INSEAD question is that what type of financial, how do people take care of finances in INSEAD? So people take loans. INSEAD do not give loans without co-signer. They do give tuition waivers to exceptional candidates. There are also no RAs and TAs in INSEAD because the INSEAD MBA is a 10-month MBA program. Okay. Yes, you need to start paying the interest of loans. You know, the interest you need to start paying right after disbursement. Yes, you have to pay while studying, or your parents pay, or your family pays basically. But the interest needs to be, you know, paid. Yes, Naga, TAT. Oh no, in ISB TA is not available. My bad. Teaching assistantship is not available in ISB. Teaching assistantship is more a concept of, you know, US and Canada. You can get loan from French bank itself after you go there, though. After you reach there, you can. No, it depends on the university. In a Prodigy, you know, see, whether it's Prodigy or Empower, their rules vary depending on the quality of the business school that you are going to. So best thing with Empower and Prodigy, if you need specific information about specific university, you need to drop them an email and, you know, confirm, because these are not regular financial institutes, right? See, if you if you have to present your financials prior only, then I recommend that you take a loan from the, you know, from the Indian bank. And after that, you know, see, just because a loan is sanctioned to you does not mean that you take it, right? You can get the loan sanctioned and you don't take it. The interest and all of that is only upon disbursement. So if you don't take it, then you only pay interest on whatever amount that you know that you use. So you know, let's say you take a 25 lakh loan, right? And but you use, or you get only 10 lakhs are disbursed, right? So you pay the interest or whatever only on 10 lakhs, not on the sanctioned amount. So now, you know, if budget is a concern, you know, so if budget is a concern, then you need to do these things, you know, while in the shortlisting stage itself. Whenever you are shortlisting your universities, keep this thing. You just have to follow these steps, right? Look at scholarships and loan availability. This thing you will find on the you know, on the MBA website of that particular university. You will see usually the link is called funding your MBA or financing your MBA. If you click on it, you will see the various options, whether the scholarships and loans are available or not. Also specifically look at the international student information. Most of the times when you go to a university and they will say that these are the loans available, right? But that does not mean that all those loans are available for international students. So look for information specific to international students. With scholarships also, there are some scholarships that are available only for citizens of certain countries, not for all international students. So whenever you are going to a university website and checking out the scholarship and loan availability, make sure that we are looking at information that is applicable to international students and not their domestic students. Look at the cost of living, extremely important. On the university website, you know, you would find the tuition fee, but what you have to pay will be tuition plus cost of living, right? So your entire expense will be actually tuition plus cost of living. For instance, in London is like one of the most expensive cities in the world. So maybe the fees of let's say fees of HCC Paris is higher than Imperial Business School, let's say that, but the cost of living in London is like far higher than in HCC Paris, so your overall cost might end up being higher. So look at both the components, the cost of living as well as the tuition fees. Don't just look at the tuition fees. So that's about it from my end. So if you need any specific questions, you can write here, and in the meantime I can take a few questions now. Arpit, I think I already said that in India, State Bank of India gives up to 1.5 crores depending on, again it depends on which college you have got admission to, and HDFC Credila also, HDFC Credila sometimes even ends up giving higher. Totally depends on what your expenses are, right? So both these institutions, they give pretty high amounts of loans. So Ashish, your question is, after getting loan, if we somehow get a scholarship or RA in mid MBA, then what about the excess amount left? Okay Ashish, let me explain how the loan process works. So if you apply for, let's say, 25 lakh rupee loan with a bank, the bank is not going to give you the money. It's not that a bank gives you 25 lakhs. It's nothing like that, right? So the bank will ask you for the tuition fee details and your cost of living details, etc. Based on that, the tuition fee the bank will send directly to the university, right? And the tuition fees in every university, it has to be paid per semester. So let's say that in your first semester you got, the bank, out of the 25 lakhs that got sanctioned, let's say the bank disbursed 5 lakhs as the first semester fees, and the bank also gave you 2 lakhs for cost of living. So 5 plus 2, 7 lakhs, right? So now let's say in the middle of your first semester you end up getting an RA and you don't need the loan anymore, so you don't take the rest of the amount. So your interest or whatever it is will be done on the 7 lakhs, not on the 25 lakhs sanctioned amount. Is it clear? It's just like when you take a loan to buy a house, it's just the money is not given to you, it is given directly to to the university. Okay, no, Arpit, the 1.5 for all of this, the Indian banks, you need collateral. That collateral can be in the form of property, land, home, what properties that you own. So you need collateral. Collateral means if you need 1.5 crore, then in SBI you have to show collateral worth 1.5 crore. Okay. So Naga, your question is for ISB. Okay, ISB gives scholarships. So and I have seen them give 3 lakh scholarships, 5 lakh scholarships, 10 lakh scholarship also, right? So they give scholarship. These are like they give tuition waivers also. They have different other types of scholarships as well, right? Diversity scholarships or scholarships sponsored by different companies and stuff, right? They also sometimes have a need-based scholarship for which you have to write an essay. Kshita, your question is, when does the need-based scholarship process start? It is along with the application process. On the online application form, you will see the requirement. So Umesh, if you don't have the collateral, then I think with SBI till about 4 lakhs you don't have to give. I think you don't have to give any collateral. So up to 4 lakhs you get without showing any collaterals in Indian banks. But I think you should check with the banks directly. Yes, in Indian banks, in SBI for instance, 15% has to be your own own contribution. So they will not give you 100%, right? But the university loans and the US bank loans, that they give 100%. But these, I think Credila is also around 10 to 15% you have to show on your own. So what I have seen is that around within 5 to 7 years students are able to repay the amount. But your question is how much loan can be availed for a university, foreign university without collateral? Okay, there are two things, right? One is like without co-signer, without guarantor basically. Second is without collateral but with guarantor. So without guarantor, I think the amount varies from 4 lakhs to 7 lakhs depending on the bank, right? So you have to check with each bank separately, they have different, right? And then then you will need a guarantor, but still you are not showing any collateral, then the amount is I think around 7.5 lakhs to 10 lakhs. Okay, need base less than 10 lakhs, yes, right. For ISB, the need based scholarship criteria is that the family income has to be less than 10 lakhs. Family income means only if you have a wife or a husband, then the spouse and parents. It does not include brothers income, sisters income. So if your father's income, your mother's income plus your spouse's income is less than 10 lakhs, then you are eligible to apply for ISB scholarship, ISB need based scholarship. No, the Utkarsh, the funding process for MS programs is a little different. Today's session is purely for MBA. See, Arpit, there are some these are actually these scholarships. There's some like say in Stanford there is a Dhirubhai Ambani scholarship. In UT Dallas there is a Jindal scholarship. So there is one or two where they just give 1 or 2 scholarships. They are available, but they are not necessarily for top universities, but just a handful of them. See, Akshita, not necessarily ISB, any good university, any not just good, any university, if they give you a scholarship, it is subject to the condition that you maintain your GPA. If your GPA falls below the specified their requirement, then you will not get this scholarship. Shahrukh, your question is it true that early you apply for admission, the greater are the chances of getting scholarship, at least for ISB? No, this information is true for people for MS admissions process. MBA admission process runs round wise, right? So anyway you cannot apply whenever you want to apply to. So there are round 1, round 2, round 3, okay? So or round 4, whatever it is. Asian business schools, they usually have 2 rounds of admission, and the scholarship chances are equal in both, right? In both the rounds. In US in non-Asian business schools, that means US business schools or European business schools or Canadian business schools, there also it's helpful if you apply by the second round. If you apply in round 3, then your chances of admission are also less, and forget chances of scholarship. No Arpit. Any other questions? Any other questions? Okay, so check out these resources, Prodigy Finance, Empower Finance, then Paras Education Loan Foundation. No harm, get in touch with them. Drop an email, just ask them, what's the requirement, send in your exact profile, share your financial details, they will be able to help you. Others are not round 1, round 2 equal. It's not that it's not that round 1 has more chances. Round 1 and round 2 are equal in terms of chances of getting scholarships. Any questions? Arpit, I didn't get your question about the what you mean by scholarship organizations. There are no scholarship organizations. If you mean the lending institutes, you know. Oh, okay. So that, you know, you can drop an email here. We'll of course not be able to give the entire list, but you know, we'll give you some names. So there's no Aditya Birla. There's a, you know, Dhirubhai Ambani gives for Stanford. Jindal scholarship is there for UT Dallas, you know. So these are Indian organizations only, Rahul. Also, you know, there's a there's also something called a TOEFL IELTS scholarship. So for Indian students. So just if you can check the information out on the TOEFL website. So they give around 2 to 3 scholarships, but the amount is very less. Bhanu, I would not say that your profile, you know, if I'm not able to understand the reason why you should be applying to round 2. Your reason I'm not very, you know, very sure why you want to. If you are, whenever you are ready with your GMAT score, whenever you have a good GMAT score, you should apply. You know, it's better to apply in round 2 with a good GMAT score than apply in round 1 with a bad GMAT score. Yes, Akshita, you can get more than 2 scholarships. I have also seen situations where scholarships are combined with, you know, assistantship, or a diversity scholarship is combined with a tuition waiver. So I have seen such situations as well. And you can anyway, no matter what, whether you get TA, RA, scholarship, you can always combine them with loans anyway. Arpit, which website? So I told you about, you know, Prodigy Finance, Empower Finance, Paras Education Loan Foundation. So these are some of the you know, some of the, what I can say, they are private institutions which give you loans through US banks. So just please give your feedback about the session. You know, it will be helpful for us to design the rest of the sessions in future. Bhanu, your question is, if I don't have a great profile but a GMAT score of like 620, should I pick round 2? Bhanu, again, depends on who says that G680 is a bad score, you know. So it depends on the rest of your profile, and it depends on the kind of colleges that you are targeting. So it's very, very profile specific. I mean, for some colleges 750 is also not good score, right? So it depends on what kind of colleges you are targeting. No, Ashish, no. In IMA, PGPX, what is the difference in round 1 and rounds as far as loans, scholarship, admissions are concerned? So we had the IMA session. We had the session with IM Ahmedabad, I think last Saturday. Yes, last Saturday. Were you able to attend that? So where the IM admissions committee, you know, they were there. So were you able to attend that session? Okay, then please drop an email at information@jamboreeindia.com and ask them to give you the recording of the IM session. Okay, they talked in detail about scholarship. They in fact, I mean, I think they gave 10 scholarships of 5 lakhs each last year. So just watch the recording, you know. Ragul, not that much, you know. Masters in management, this is a little different from MBA. Today's mostly for MBA, not the masters programs. There are no JDs, it's the sports scholarships, you know. So I've seen only a couple of sports scholarships given, but I mean, there was this one national level, you know, golfer with a world ranking of in the 200s, you know. He had got a sports scholarship, but you have to be really, really good, you know. And like, you know, so that level of, in the US there's no shortage of sports people. In fact, in the US the sports scholarships are given out to like Olympic gold medalists and stuff. So in comparison to that, Indian level sports is, you know, just does not compete, right? So you have to be exceptionally good to be able to consider for any type of sports scholarship in US universities. In Indian universities, still okay. Arpit, you can drop an email and ask, you know. Anil, again, your question is very vague. What will be good GRE score with 10-year work experience? I don't know. It depends on what kind of courses, what kind of MBA programs, what universities you are targeting. Prashant, you know, again, I keep on saying this, you know, it's not just the GMAT score, right? It's not just the GMAT score. There are universities where you will not even get admission with 700. So it's not just the GMAT score, it's your entire profile. So Akshita, your question is, if we aren't given a scholarship loan by the time application process ends, is our admission secure and we can finance it later? Oh yeah, of course. The admission decision and these finance decisions are totally independent of each other. Okay guys, so have a good evening.